For more on the Columbus Crew, let's bring in the man who covers them for the Columbus Dispatch, Jacob Myers. Jacob, is it true? This is just a rumor. I want to set it straight. Is it true you designed all of the rebrand? I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, it was completely my idea. And then Toronto FC rebranded my last name on my credential in Orlando Wednesday. So I'm glad it kind of came full circle.
Yeah, okay. So clearly you are not the guy. I'm joking because Crew fans are so upset about this and they're angry at the front office. Okay. How angry should Crew fans be about this whole thing? What's your thoughts on it?
I think when it comes to the name, I totally understand what the club is saying. I think they're both trying to make, as far as telling fans you can use the Crew and dropping it from the name. I think they're trying to meet the fans halfway. At the same time, they weren't understanding what fans were telling them. So when it came to that, it's really your own thoughts on if that's good enough. And clearly that's not good enough for the majority and the, I guess, most ardent supporters of what was the Columbus Crew. When it comes to the logo, that is pretty much universally hated, I would say. So when it comes to the name, it's really who you are. But these fans are clearly don't think that is enough. And now it's up to the meetings between the front office and Nordec, just where this goes from here.
You know, it's interesting because I can't think of an ownership group in the history of sports who has gone upwards so fast in buying the team, saving the team, new stadium, and down so fast. I mean, where would you rank this as far as PR debacles?
Yeah, I mean, just considering the rollout and the backlash, and as well as the backlash, and then just almost speeding up the rollout too. This is, I would say, history will say easily one of the worst rebrands in American sports history. It won't get the attention that a rebrand like this would get in the MLB, NBA, or NFL, but I mean, it's still going on a week since that Nordec meeting. We're talking Friday, so it's been a week and it's still not completely resolved. The rollout is definitely part of this, like you said.
It's interesting. Every single time the Columbus Crew tweets or posts something on social media, they get ratioed to death. It's just all replies about this. And if we've learned one thing about Crew fans, they have a pretty solid memory and they do band together, Jacob. So do you think if the Crew decides full steam ahead, Columbus City, or Columbus FC, the whole thing, do you think they're getting past this with these fans, or do they have to cave at this point?
I mean, they don't have to cave, obviously. It's still their decision. And I mean, honestly, like fans don't, I think most fans agree that there was going to be some type of change, or they thought it was perfectly fine for new ownership to make their own changes. But to do it to this degree, and there's a huge discrepancy over just, I guess, the lack of transparency and the lack of input fans thought they had on this process. The Nordec told me when they were to provide a list for focus groups, they could only do up to 20% of actual focus groups, and none of that was any leadership from any supporters group. So that's a big question here, is just the process of it all. I mean, but to do something like this that has confused fans and angered them when it really didn't need to happen, that just adds to the confusion of why this goodwill almost torched in a second.
Jacob's been ahead of this. If you've been reading his reporting, he's been on top of it all along. And one of your stories talked about Tim Bezbatchenko basically saying there's some math involved. If we lose some fans but gain more fans in the long run, it's a win. And I understand math. One number might be bigger than the other. Do you think his math is correct, though? Do you think the net gain could outgain the loss?
Just based on the reaction alone, and I think if you're a casual supporter, you see reaction like this, you want to almost step away from it. So I think it would be a net loss anytime something like this happens. I think it could be a net positive if there are really contrite and sincere walkbacks, and I guess just meeting in the middle with supporters groups over whatever changes they may make. And now just to kind of put it out there, because I want people to decide for themselves, this was a STC member, Save the Crew member, who told me what Bezbatchenko said, and I confirmed it with two others. Another two confirmed kind of the spirit of the conversation. Morgan Hughes, who was at this meeting, couldn't recall it at all. So people can go read it and decide from themselves. But right now, I would say it's doing more harm than good, for sure.
earlier this week, the Crew released, I'm not going to call it an apology, a statement that basically said, we probably should have done better. We're going to do better in the future. But Jacob, I noticed they didn't say we're going to change it. So what do you make of that statement that kind of said, sorry, but we don't know what's happening next?
Yeah, I think it's wanting to, first of all, I don't think you get this too often from owners to say clearly our process wasn't correct or inaccurate, whatever their words were. I'm summarizing here, but I thought that was a pretty big admission of guilt, that this was not their intentions, and an olive branch to try to remedy it. What that remedy is, we still don't know. You said it right. They didn't explicitly say we're going to change some things, but now front office and ownership has extended that olive branch to Nordec, and they should find out a way and not just continue to dig in their heels over it.
Okay, so for now, let's put that behind us. We think there's still going to be more in the weeks ahead. Game tomorrow, though, against New England. What are you looking for in this game?
It's a rematch of the East Final. This is a team that Bruce Arena has in the Revs. Carlos Gil, Gustavo Bo, very talented, capable of making MLS Cup. Those two guys were hurt for large portions of last season, and then didn't really surprise anyone per se in making the East Final as the 8th seed because they're very talented. Going on the road, end of a 6 games and 19-day stretch for the Crew, getting just a draw here I think would be solid, and then you can reset a bit. Going to be very, very tough. A very good team in New England.